Dawn came gently to Amundi village. The cock's crow echoed over the cassava fields as Chinwe swept the red earth of her family compound. Barefoot and determined, she moved with the steady rhythm learned from her mother. Despite the simplicity around her, the mud hut, the clay cooking pots by the fire, Chinwe's heart was full of hope for the new day.
Good morning, Mama. I have finished sweeping.
Thank you, my daughter. Did you check on your brother?
Chinwe set the broom aside and knelt by her little brother, Chidi, who lay on a woven mat under the mango tree. She placed a gentle hand on his forehead.
Mama, he is still warm. The fever hasn't gone.
I prayed he would be better this morning. Chineke, help us.
Mama Ozioma's eyes were weary. She had spent the night cooling Chidi's body with damp cloths. In this everyday rural life, sickness was a familiar enemy. Medicine cost money, money the family did not have.
I will go to the fields early, Mama. I'll harvest more cassava to sell at Unko Market today. We need every naira to buy Chidi's medicine.
Mama Ozioma managed a small smile and reached out to cup her daughter's cheek.
Dalu, Chinwe. Thank you. You work so hard, my dear. Your father would be proud.
Chinwe's father had passed the previous year, claimed by a sudden illness. Since then, mother and daughter labored in the fields and at home to keep the family afloat. Chinwe should have been in school like other girls her age, but instead she had become the pillar of the household. With a determined nod, Chinwe picked up a woven basket. The morning sun felt warm on her shoulders as she headed toward their small cassava plot beyond the compound. She moved past rows of cassava plants, their green leaves still wet with dew. In the distance, she could see a few neighbors already at work, bending over ridges of rich brown soil, tending yams and maize. In the quiet of daybreak, Chinwe allowed herself a moment of prayer. "Please, let today be fruitful," she whispered, "so I can help Chidi." As she began digging up the first plump cassava tuber, Chinwe felt a glimmer of optimism. In Amundi, each day brought new hardships, but also new chances. And in her heart, the young girl believed that hard work and love could overcome even the toughest problems. Little did she know how severely that belief would be tested in the days to come. Chinwe's stomach tightened as she counted the few coins in her hand. It was market day, and the Nkwo market was alive with energy and noise. Around her, traders called out prices in Igbo and Pidgin English, enticing passers-by to buy. Yet on Chinwe's mat, only a handful of customers had stopped by since morning. Her heap of gari was still mostly unsold, and the sun was already past its peak. Beads of sweat formed on Chinwe's forehead as she forced a smile at a woman examining her cassava flakes. When the woman offered a price so low it barely covered the cost, Chinwe's voice trembled, but she agreed. "Chinwe, my child, you look worried. Is everything all right?"
I'm okay, Auntie. I just need to sell a bit more today.
Chinwe stands outside the gate, dust clinging to her feet from the long walk. Her hands tremble as she holds onto the metal bars. A uniformed gatekeeper eyes her warily.
Good evening, sir. Please, I'm here to see Chief Maduka.
"The chief? Do you have any appointment?" the gatekeeper asked skeptically.
No, but it's urgent. I beg you. My name is Chinwe Okafor. My mother is Ozioma that sells vegetables. My little brother is very ill.
The gatekeeper folded his arms. It was clear he had seen many supplicants show up unannounced, hoping for the chief's favor. Chinwe felt her face burn with humiliation under his disapproving gaze. Many people are ill. That is not the chief's concern. Go home, girl, he said dismissively.
Biko, please, just tell him I am here. I only ask for a few minutes. I will wait.
Perhaps it was the desperation in her tone or the tears welling in Chinwe's eyes. The gatekeeper hesitated, then sighed and disappeared toward the house, leaving Chinwe outside the gate. Chinwe's heart thumped in her chest as she waited, clinging to the bars. In the yard, Chief Maduka's young son, Obi, 8, kicked a ball around, watched over by a housemaid. Obi's laughter rang out, clear and carefree. The sound reminded her painfully of Chidi, who hadn't smiled or played in days due to his sickness. After what felt like an eternity, the front door opened. Chief Maduka emerged, walking toward the gate with a commanding presence. He was a tall man in his early 50s, with deep chocolate skin and a stout belly attesting to his prosperity. He wore a traditional red cap and a gold neck chain that glinted in the light. His expression as he approached was one of impatience.
What is this disturbance? Who are you?
Chinwe immediately dropped to her knees on the dusty ground outside the gate, bowing her head in respect.
Good evening, Chief. My name is Chinwe, daughter of late Okafor and Ozioma from Umuachi Quarter. Please, sir, forgive my coming unannounced.
Chief Maduka's eyes narrowed slightly. He recognized the names. Chinwe's late father had once worked on one of the chief's farms.
I remember your father. Humph. What do you want? Be quick.
Sir, my little brother is very sick with a high fever. We need money to take him to the clinic and buy medicine. We have nothing left. I came to ask if you could kindly lend us some money or help us in any way. I will repay.
Do you think I run a charity? Every day someone comes with a story. My brother is sick. My child is hungry. Must I solve everyone's problems?
Chinwe flinched at his harsh words. She pressed her forehead to the ground in the way one might beg a king.
Please, sir. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't serious. Chidi is only 5 years old. He might not survive this fever without help.
And where is your mother? Why can't she handle her family's issues?
She's been trying, sir. We both have. We sold almost everything, just to buy some drugs. It's not enough.
Enough. Instead of disturbing me, why not work harder or ask your kindred? I cannot be responsible for everyone in this village.
He motioned to the gatekeeper to open the gate slightly. For a hopeful moment, Chinwe thought perhaps he had relented. But Chief Maduka did not reach for his wallet. Instead, he tossed out a crumpled N500 naira note through the bars, barely more than what Chinwe had earned all day.
Here, take this and go. I have business to attend to.
The money landed in the dust in front of Chinwe. Fresh tears stung her eyes as she realized the chief was dismissing her. N500 would not even pay for the trip to town, let alone the hospital fees.
Aku adiki azota. Money doesn't gather itself. I work hard for my wealth. I can't just give it away.
Chinwe remained on her knees, staring at the paltry note. Humiliation and despair washed over her. Chief Maduka was already walking back to his house, Obi trailing curiously behind him. The gatekeeper stepped out and shoved the money closer to her. "Better take it and leave now. Go home, girl," he said gruffly. Chinwe picked up the dirty bill with trembling fingers. Her vision blurred with tears as she rose unsteadily to her feet.
Thank you. May God bless you, sir.
Chief Maduka did not turn around, but his son Obi peered back at the gate, confused by the scene. Chinwe turned and fled, not wanting the boy to see her crying. As she stumbled away from the compound, Chinwe felt a heavy weight settle in her chest. The sun was setting, casting long shadows on the dusty road ahead. With only a crumpled note and shattered hope, she wondered how she would ever save Chidi now. Night falls over Chinwe's family compound. The sky is bruised purple with heavy clouds, and a soft rain begins to patter on the thatched eaves of their small kitchen hut. Inside the one-room mud house, a dim kerosene lantern casts flickering shadows on the walls. Chidi lies on a mat on the floor, his small body restless and sweaty from fever. Mama Ozioma sits beside him, fanning his face with a palm frond fan, while Chinwe stokes a small fire under a pot of water, her eyes red from crying.
Chineke, God, Biko, have mercy on my son.
Chinwe added a few leaves and herbs into the boiling water. A simple remedy of neem and guava leaves she hoped would keep Chidi's fever from climbing further. The money Chief Maduka threw at her earlier lay untouched on a shelf. It wasn't enough to hire a taxi to the distant clinic tonight, even if one would travel in the rain.
Mama, he will get through this. He will.
Chinwe spoke with more confidence than she felt. In truth, fear gnawed at her. Lightning flashed outside, illuminating the cracks in the wooden door. Suddenly, Chidi's teeth began to chatter and his eyes rolled upward.
Chinwe, Chidi is shaking. What do we do?
Mama, hold his legs. It's the fever. It's very high.
They held Chidi as securely and gently as they could until the fit passed. The boy went limp, breathing raggedly.
I can't lose him, Chi. I can't lose my child.
Chinwe wiped her own tears with the back of her hand. Outside, the rain hammered the roof as if the heavens themselves wept in sympathy.
I'm going to get help, Mama. If the chief won't help us, maybe someone will.
At this time of night, in this rain, it's dangerous.
Dangerous or not, I can't just sit and watch Chidi.
Another flash of lightning lit up the determination on Chinwe's young face.
Hold on, Chidi. I will be back soon.
Without wasting another second, Chinwe pushed the door open and stepped out into the stormy darkness. The cool rain drenched her almost instantly, but she broke into a run, the lantern flickering wildly in her grip. She splashed through puddles along the empty village paths, heading toward the main road. The tall palm and mango trees lining the path swayed and whispered in the gale, as if urging her on. Somewhere beyond the next hill was the home of Pastor Ike, whom she recalled had some medical training and often prayed for the sick. Minutes later, though to her it felt like hours, Chinwe arrived at the pastor's house, a modest bungalow near the church. She banged on the gate, crying out for help between gasps of breath. A light came on. Eventually, the pastor's wife opened the door, alarmed at the drenched girl before her. Chinwe explained through sobs about Chidi's condition. Pastor Ike did not hesitate. He handed Chinwe a small bottle of paracetamol syrup and a packet of fever-reducing tablets, supplies he kept for church members, and promised to come by at first light to check on Chidi. Clutching the medicine tightly, Chinwe ran back home through the storm. She slipped and fell twice in the mud, scraping her knees, but she got up each time, fueled by love and desperation. When Chinwe finally burst back into the hut, soaked and shivering, Mama Ozioma cried out in relief. They wasted no time. By the glow of the lantern, they carefully measured out the syrup and fed it to Chidi, then tucked the tablets aside for when he could swallow. Slowly, as the hours passed and the rain subsided, Chidi's fever began to respond to the medicine and herbal tea. The little boy's tense face softened as his temperature dropped degree by degree. Near midnight, he fell into a deeper, calmer sleep. Chinwe and her mother stayed by his side all night, dozing in turns. Exhausted and drenched, Chinwe felt her eyes growing heavy but refused to fully rest. She kept a hand on Chidi's chest, reassured by each rise and fall. In the darkest part of the night, under the faint flicker of the lantern, Chinwe whispered a fervent prayer of gratitude. Their family had weathered this storm somehow. As she listened to Chidi's steady breathing, Chinwe allowed herself a small, hopeful smile, never imagining how soon their compassion would be put to the test come morning. The next morning, the sky is fresh and clear, washed clean by the night's rain. In Chief Maduka's compound, a frantic scene unfolds. The chief's son, Obi, lies on a couch on the veranda, his face flushed with a fierce fever. Servants bustle about. One fans the boy, another runs to fetch cool water. Chief Maduka stands by, wringing his hands in uncharacteristic panic. His usually immaculately pressed clothes are rumpled and worry lines crease his brow. Madame Adora, the chief's wife, kneels beside their son, trying to rouse him. Morning birds sang in the plantain trees, but the chief's household heard only the ragged breathing of young Obi and the distressed cries of his mother. The boy had awakened before dawn, crying of a pounding headache, then collapsed in a faint. Now his skin was burning hot, far above normal, and his small body trembled as chills alternated with fever.
Has the driver returned? Why is it, Doctor?
Sir, the bridge on the road to town collapsed in the storm. The driver cannot pass. He's trying the old road, but...
Then find another way. Go on foot if you must. Just get Dr. Ease here now.
Madame Adora dabbed her son's face with a wet cloth, tears streaming down her cheeks. Obi was barely conscious, eyes half open and unfocused. He mumbled something unintelligible as his mother called his name desperately. Obi, Obi, hang on, my son. Papa is getting help. Chief Maduka, usually the pillar of confidence, looked utterly lost. He paced back and forth across the veranda. For the first time in many years, he felt completely powerless. All his wealth, all his influence, none of it had prevented his only child from falling gravely ill.
Chineke God, don't punish me by taking my son, Biko.